Well, this story broke after United lost to Bournemouth. That was on Sunday by 3 goals to nil. That United is obviously chasing for the signing of Victor Osimhen in the January transfer window. And I'm just waiting to see United doing things differently under Ineos and how they're really planning to get in these players, because we're really having a long list of players and we are waiting to see which player is obviously going to be signing for the club of Manchester United in the January transfer window. But I've already told you that I anticipate that I think 1 or 2 signings will obviously be brought in through during the January transfer window because of the performances that are really happening under the Ruben Amorim. And I don't want everyone to come out and say that Ruben Amorim is performing badly because he's not having the right players and he should be given the right players. And where was it written that if at all you get in players in the January transfer window, they're obviously going to hit the ground running? You get the percentage is really low. And I tell you what, it's really going to be hard for the club of Manchester United to sign a player to come in through and really hit the ground running. But here we're talking about Victor Osimhen. Merry Christmas to everyone and hope you're really enjoying your day. So this is the channel that brings you your latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned. And I'm Rokan David, and you can as well continue to subscribe to this channel because you know what mark we want to hit. We want to hit how many subscribers? We want to hit 20,000 subscribers, and you guys are the people that are supposed to obviously lead us that side by doing the needful. And what's the needful you're supposed to be doing? The needful is simple. Go ahead, right? Go ahead and continue to subscribe. We are left with 140 subscribers to hit 20,000 subscribers. So please do the needful and find out what you're supposed to be doing by subscribing in there for you. Now let's start it off with the man who broke the story. He was he's called Pino Tomina from Martino di Napoli. He says Man United are set to ask Napoli for Victor Osimhen for less than his £62 million release clause. Osimhen's agent has informed Napoli there could be some news soon. Now, £62 million, we need to convert them into million euros. There is something I want to obviously drive to. Pounds. That means it is 74 million euros. Now, why am I calling in for this? I think when I was signing from Lille to obviously come to Napoli, he was bought for 60 million euros. Now that means they'll be making a profit of like 14 million euros from the sale of Victor Osimhen. You all know to it that Victor Osimhen fell out with Antonio Conte. He fell out with Antonio Conte, and Conte is really doing great. When you look at the Serie A, when you look at the Serie A table, Napoli is second with 38 points. Atalanta is topping the table. But if at all Inter Milan win their game in hand, they'll obviously go level with Atalanta. But they're putting in a very huge shift into the mix, and they're really doing great. And when you look at Napoli, they're having some good players that are obviously doing some good work there at their stadium. The likes of Romelu Lukaku, who obviously went ahead, take over from where Victor Osimhen went ahead, stop and left the club. So the club of Napoli has fallen out totally with Victor Osimhen. That's written all over the wall. They've fallen out totally. They have fallen out totally, I might say. And after them falling out totally, what is going to happen? They've obviously gone ahead to put out a very huge case that he's not going to be returning to Napoli, and that's why they went ahead obviously loan him to Galatasaray, and they are paying the lion's share of his salary because he earns close to 200,000 euros a week. And Napoli is like, we want you out. And I think this is the only thing that Victor Osimhen had to do to obviously be sold out, because remember his release clause was 120 million pounds last summer, and because he had a very bad season, no club could obviously meet it. And now we are obviously having a different case. When they agreed to obviously see him leave on loan to Galatasaray, the release clause was decreased to 63 million pounds, and now that is favorable for the club of Manchester United. But we all know that it can happen when a player known as Marcus Rashford goes ahead, obviously leave the club of Manchester United, and if at all they sell him, then they'll have the money to obviously get Victor Osimhen in. Now, this is Sacha Tavoleri said Man United are in talks with Victor Osimhen's agent. Personal terms will not be a problem. Marcus Rashford's departure in January can open the possibility of the deal. As I told you before I even read it, this guy, known as Victor Osimhen, coming to Manchester United will depend on Marcus Rashford's decision, on whether United can sell Marcus Rashford for 40 million pounds, because when they sell him for 40 million pounds, I tell you what, they'll obviously come up and obviously do the needful. I tell you, they will do the needful, and that needful will obviously see to it that they get in 40 million pounds and obviously pay off some money to bring in Victor Osimhen, because for Marcus Rashford, that 40 million pounds is obviously pure profit for the club of Manchester United, as the club will be really trying to obviously recover from that. And the beauty of bringing in Victor Osimhen on when Marcus Rashford leaves, Victor Osimhen, and he might call in for like £200,000 a week. I think for that it will be okay for Manchester United, as they'll be saving £150,000 a week, and that will be saved finally and finally. So that's really huge for the club of Manchester United, and for me, I'm backing this transfer, because if we can get in Osimhen and lose Rashford, that is really great. I think that won't be bad, It won't be bad for the club of Manchester United, as you're bringing in one of the deadliest strikers alive, and you bring him to Manchester United. He will be competing with Joshua Zirkzee and Rasmus Højlund. I think that's really great, because it will obviously offload the pressure off Rasmus Højlund, and a player who came in as a raw diamond will obviously improve, because there will be someone else that the world will be looking at to obviously score in those goals. I think Victor Osimhen coming in through will be something great, but it obviously lies in the hands of the manager on whether he can obviously bring in Victor Osimhen or bringing in Gyökeres, because Gyökeres is one of those that the manager will be looking at, but he promised that he won't really attack Sporting Lisbon to sign a player during the winter transfer window, and it can only happen in the summer, because in the summer they'll be having ample time to obviously come up and obviously do the needful. So that is it. And if he gets in Victor Osimhen in the summer, in the winter transfer window, I think that marks the end of Gyökeres coming to Manchester United, because Rasmus Højlund is really good player. If you're having Victor Osimhen as your man leading your line, and then having Rasmus Højlund to obviously do the needful and obviously be the understudy, I think that will be great. Like Osimhen will be starting most of the games, and having Rasmus Højlund come in to play some 30 minutes in, I think that's one of the best backup forwards that you'll have into your team. So for me, I love that. But I think all this depends on Marcus Rashford leaving. I tell you, it depends on Marcus Rashford leaving. If he can leave in January, I think this deal can be done immediately as it stands. Now, United scout status, United are still in the market for a prolific goal scorer. The club have inquired about Osimhen's situations many times, including in January 2023 and summer 2024. Personal terms would not be an issue. His agent is expected to offer him around multiple clubs in January. And for his agent, the earlier the better, because in the summer he failed to obviously get the player the dream of, and these are things that obviously annoy players. And he's now playing at Galatasaray, and he has played 11 matches, and he has gone ahead to score 9 goals and 3 assists. I think that form is really good for him. And in the UEFA Europa League, 4 games, 3 matches and 1 assist. He has played 14 games. He has 12 goals and 4 assists. So for me, I think that's really great for the player in Victor Osimhen. And there is no way Victor Osimhen won't find himself out in January, if at all if at all there is a team that is willing to obviously pay for his release clause. But I think at 63 million pounds, he's a bargain. That's a bargain for him, and I know very many teams might be looking out for him. I expect Chelsea to raise up their hand, Arsenal might raise up their hand, and very many other clubs. PSG might raise up their hand and see how things are really going to pan. Even Real Madrid might raise up their hand, obviously sign Victor Osimhen. So very many clubs will be looking at him because they need centre forwards immediately. But if you are Manchester United, don't you worry a little bit for where Marcus Rashford is going to go, because the variability of Victor Osimhen might obviously lower our chances of selling him to Arsenal, because Arsenal might be like, let's go in for Victor Osimhen. You know, they are calling in for 63 million pounds. Is there any chance to obviously get in an in and out striker at the cheaper price according to the market or the price of other strikers? And Arsenal might be like, let's go in for this guy. Or else they might say, Victor Osimhen is not multi-dimensional, but Marcus Rashford is multi-dimensional. So let's go in for Marcus Rashford and bring him on, because he can play as a centre forward. He can also play as a left forward. You understand? Something that Victor Osimhen cannot do. So that's what is ringing in my ears, and I'm waiting for your reactions into the comment section below. If I told you Manchester United, what decision do you take? You know, Victor Osimhen to Manchester United depends on to Marcus Rashford. Hope you guys are really well. I've gone ahead to record this video, and I think you're going to enjoy it. I'm going to come in the morning, do what we call a live stream for the game that you're going to be playing away at Molineux. That is Manchester United for you. So guys, I'm out for now. See you later, and Merry Christmas and Happy Boxing Day. That's what we've gone ahead to get from Victor Osimhen, as he's one of those players that is linked to Manchester United, and United are pushing obviously get him in. Bye-bye.